Well, by the end of 2025, we will have spent 1/3 of the year on cruise ships. It is a huge part of our retirement travel plans. So we've come up with 5 primary reasons that you might also want to consider living part-time on a cruise ship in your retirement.
Yeah, and we were just talking last night about why do we love to cruise so much? What does it mean to our retirement travel planning? And above all, it's diversification of travel.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. So we spend 1/3 of our year traveling in our RV, which is where we are right now on this beautiful campsite. We spend 1/3 of the year traveling the world, planes, trains, and automobiles and that kind of stuff. And then we spend 1/3 of the year on cruise ships. And it offers us all kinds of diversity because they're all 3 totally different ways of traveling.
Yep. Yep. And along, just to add one more point to that too, when I think of cruising, I think of cruising in all kinds of locations. So there's a diversity in, even in the cruise line, we could travel in the Baltic Sea, which we've done. We can travel in the Mediterranean, cruise in the Mediterranean, which we've done. We've cruised over in Asia and Australia, and then obviously in the Caribbean and Alaska. So there's such diversity in cruise travel in itself.
Right. And so it diversifies the type of travel we do and also the types of places that we can see. And so that leads us to our next point, which is exploration.
So I kind of touched on it a little bit about how cruising, you can travel to so many different places in how that diversifies travel. But when you think of from an exploration standpoint, it's a way to go sample the world. And that's why we chose cruising more than a decade ago, is it gave us a chance to go sample the world, sample different cultures, and decide where do we want to spend time in the future. And I think that's one of the best things about cruising is the ability to sample the world.
Yeah, there's no question. And we have used it specifically for that purpose. So it gives us the time. We go to any port for a day or two. And like Paul said, it can be in Europe and Baltic Sea and all kinds of places. So, and then we decide, is that a place we want to go when we were doing our world travels by other means?
And a perfect example of that is Spain.
Yeah.
So we did a transatlantic, which started in Miami, that ended up in Spain. We had no idea what Spain was going to be like. We absolutely fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And that was from spending 4 hours basically in Barcelona, exploring a little bit. We decided this is a place we've got to come back to. And we've been back now multiple times, some on cruises and some on other types of travel.
We absolutely love it. So that is a great example. Now, another kind of exploration I'm talking about is, quite honestly, just the cruise ships. You can explore on the cruise ships. Every single cruise ship has something different to offer. And even though we've been on some cruise ships multiple times, there's still always something new to explore. And in addition to that, we also explore the various ports. We do port days on our own largely. And so Paul is the king of exploring.
Oh, yeah. I love to get out and walk. That's my favorite thing to do. Is we'll get into a city, and Barcelona was a perfect example of that. Many other cities, whether in the Baltic, Australia, we did it there.
Greece, we did
it there, is just to get out and explore and see what that city is like and get a nice sample of what that city is like and decide whether we want to come back and spend more time there.
And that we just love the exploration piece of cruising. Now, another thing we talked about last night when we were saying, okay, why do we actually love spending 1/3 of the time on cruise ships? That is, it's exciting. I mean, it really is exciting. When you think about it, what were we saying about, we don't know a person who's going on a cruise ship that doesn't get excited in the days going up to the cruise.
Yeah, it's funny when you've got your cruise set and you're getting the emails and you go online. They've got the countdown and they just make it exciting. They go out of their way to make the experience exciting for the passenger, for us. And we've been doing this for decades, and we still get excited about walking onto every ship that we go on to.
It's absolutely true. Yeah.
And we were trying to figure out why. We don't know.
We don't even know.
But we do.
They've brainwashed us. I'm not quite sure. But we do. It is still exciting. In fact, we are just about to go in 2 days on a series of 4 cruises on 4 different cruise lines in 4 weeks. So,
and that's
and
exciting.
we're so excited.
Who wouldn't be excited to do something like that? They do a great job. And again, we don't know anybody that doesn't feel that way about cruising.
Yeah. So like Paul said, we've been doing this 15 years and we are still so excited as if it were our first time. So whatever the reasons they do, I'm not quite sure what, but it is exciting.
It is. So as exciting as it is, which we all want in retirement travel, it's also simple, which is also what we want in retirement travel.
Yeah, well, that is certainly true. So that third that we spend traveling the world, that is enormous amount of planning and prep and all kinds of stuff. And cruising is so simple. And when I think about it, okay, I am the one that does all the cooking, as most of you know by now. Cooking, food planning, and if we go out to restaurants, all that requires planning. But when you get on a cruise ship, I don't have to think about one thing when I'm on a cruise ship. It's so simple. The minute my foot steps on that cruise ship, I know they will take care of everything. They will do all the food. They will bring me drinks if I want drinks. I mean, it is just that kind of simplicity is something that we crave when you're traveling so much your entire retirement.
And speaking, and here's another type of simplicity. Think of it on the ship. You've got a ship that is 1,000 feet long. You got a ship that is maybe 15, 16, 17 decks tall. And within that space, you've got entertainment.
Yeah.
You've got great food, as you've mentioned. You've got pools. You've got relaxation. You've got gyms and spas. You've got all this self-contained in this small environment that's so accessible to you. To me, that's simplicity.
Yeah, for sure. And somebody else is driving the ship. we
That is
love that. In case you missed our Why We Quit Sailing video, that video is right up here and below.
Yeah. One other important item I think that goes along simplicity as well is you're going from port to port to port, often country to country to country. You don't have to worry about immigration and customs. That is simplified for you as well as part of their port process.
Right. I will say Russia was a little bit of an exception. When we went to Russia, that process was long and tedious. And that was on a cruise ship. But yeah, that was not fun, but that's a story for another day. So yes, definitely the entire process, the second you step your foot on a cruise ship, is simple.
Yes.
Okay, and the next reason you might want to consider it is one that a lot of people don't think about when they think about part-time living on a cruise ship, and that is our health. And we actually go on cruise ships to get healthy. And part of the thing is the food. They have so many healthy food options. Those of you who follow me know I do have some health issues. I've got other issues too, but I do have some health issues. So healthy food is very, very important to me. So I love the types of choices of healthy food I get. And frankly, all the cruise lines now are really focusing on health and food choices. It doesn't matter if you're gluten-free or if you're vegan or vegetarian. They have options for everybody. So health is such an important part of it. Food's an important part of it. I know we go to the gym.
Yeah, even stepping back a little bit from that, I know in talking with a lot of people, they go onto a cruiser, they have a mindset that it's gluttonous and that you go there for 7 days of I'm going to drink and I'm going to eat and I'm going to lay around and I'm going to relax. That's not how we think of it. We think of a cruise more of a health retreat. To your point about the food, that's a very important aspect of it. The gym and the spa services, just the ability to look at it as a health retreat. A cruise ship has everything you need for health and wellness. It really does. And if you walk into it with that mind frame, it's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, there is no question that's true. And again, like we're saying, we live part-time on a cruise ship. A third of our year is on a cruise ship. So we love to look at it as a health retreat rather than I'm just going to go drink and eat all I can. In fact, often when we step on a cruise ship, the first thing we do is go to the gym. Like we are itching to get back, and they usually have beautiful, gorgeous gyms. And so we do that. We often go to the gym a couple times.
We've been talking about for a week now that we can't wait to get on this series of cruises that we're going to be doing, so we can focus on getting to the gym more consistently, to getting access to the right kind of foods more often than what we are sometimes that's a difficult thing to do when you're out RVing, which is the segment we're in now of our
Right, and not only that, when you think about they do a beautiful job with their spas, and so you go in and there's the steam room and the sauna, and of course, most people know by now that really like steam and hot tubs, that's actually really, really healthy, and so it gives me the time to go in not only to relax, but also to really focus on mindset and kind of reset and relax, and really that is great for our mental health. So our mental health, our physical health, it just really all comes together on a cruise ship. And honestly, that is not something most people would talk about.
And along with the food that we've talked about, along with the gym and the spa that we've talked about, we find ourselves getting better rest.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
And that's also very important.
There's nothing like having a cruise ship rock you to sleep. So those 5 primary reasons are the reasons that we have chosen to basically live part-time on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gives you guys some idea of, is it the right kind of retirement travel for you? So thank you for joining us on The Freedom Strategy, where we are unlocking retirement through exploring the world. And we will see you next time.